It's a religion that I call secular fundamentalism because it's a very fundamentalistic faith. It has no room for difference in doctrine. It has no tolerance for anybody who doesn't subscribe to it. And above all, it is determined to obliterate any evidence of this faith over here. So the war that we see going on in America today between secular fundamentalism, which has become adopted by the government, and Judeo-Christian biblical faith, is not a war simply between religion and a benign form of non-religion. It's between two competing religions.
So would you contend that this is why the culture, if you will, or and the government and the media, will ravage Israel, ravage Christians, but will completely close their eyes to really dangerous stuff?
Yes.
In the Middle East?
Why is it that the academic elite that shape opinions in America,
right,
why are they so comfortable with Islamic fundamentalism, but so uncomfortable with not fundamentalism, the most benign Christianity the world has ever known?
Right.
Why do they hate Christianity?
Why?
Why is it that war has been made against Christianity in every public institution of education in America?
Do you know?
Yeah, sure. And so do you, because it's exactly what we're talking about. The force of Baal is against civilization. It's a desire to wipe out civilization. Now, let me explain.
This is why you hit the anarchist nature in it.
Exactly right. If you are frustrated because you have been watching and hoping for the collapse of a civilization you loathe, and it doesn't happen, you become a frustrated individual. And where do you seek an out? You seek an out in violence, in sexual depravity, in drugs, in alcohol.
Anything that is harmful to society.
Exactly right. And so that little journey we went from 1954 of William Golding's Lord of the Flies to 1962-63, the arrival of the birth control pill, the summer of 68 with riots all around America, the collapse of values, the collapse of any kind of sense of cohesiveness in the culture. 69, the summer of 69, Woodstock. In Woodstock, there was a lot of sex, a lot of excrement, and a lot of pot. But nobody got hurt. Only a few months later, December the 6th, Altamont, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area, the Rolling Stones, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, the Airplane. Everyone was going to play in this beautiful repeat of Woodstock. But when you have wiped out the structure of ritual and restraint in the Bible, what you're left with is a slippery slope down to the cellar. So where Woodstock was sex, filth, rock and roll, and pot, Altamont 5 months later was murder, violence, heroin. Mick Jagger was emptying a bottle of Jack Daniels on the stage during the concert. Everything was different. It was a darker time. And that is the journey that we're on.
That's why it goes faster. It speeds up. It
does accelerate, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And so I want to spend a moment, if I can, just clarifying that Baal today is as much a religion as it was in its own day when it had the idols.
Okay.
So you might say, where are the idols today? Nobody's worshiping idols. Yeah, because we're more sophisticated. We don't do that. We're able to relate directly to the essence of the idea. We don't need a physical symbol. So forget the idols.
Right.
But the religion of Baal is as true now as it ever was. And here is what defines a religion. If it answers 3 questions. If it cannot answer these questions, it might be a tennis club, but it ain't a religion. And the 3 questions are, where did we come from? How did we come to this planet? How on earth, on this lonely little speck in the cosmos, are there people with self-awareness? Human beings who are capable of looking into themselves and saying, what am I all about? Where did we come from? We need to answer that question. Where are we going? What is our ultimate destiny? Surely you can see we're on a journey of some kind. And what are we supposed to be doing between the time of our arrival and the time of our departure? Secular fundamentalism has an answer to question number one. So does Judeo-Christian faith. Let's start off with this one, because I would wager that you and I could very quickly arrive at an agreeable answer.
I think I could do the secular fundamentalism quickly, too. First one, let's do Judeo-Christianity. Where do we come from? God.
The good Lord created us in His image and put us here.
Where are we going?
Fine, that's good.
Back to Him.
All right, let's go and do where if you believe, if you are
the
a
primordial soup, just we crawled out of a swamp.
Exactly right. Baboons turned into Bach and Beethoven.
Right.
Oh, by the way, excuse me. No, it's really rude to laugh at other people's religion.
Okay, sorry.
No laughing at people's faith.
Okay.
We're doing this right here.
All right. So out of the swamp.
Where did we come from? Baboons.
Okay.
Where are we going in Judeo-Christian biblical faith? Again, here we might differ on theological aspects.
We're going back to an eternal existence.
We're going back to an eternal existence. Beautiful.
Okay.
Now, where are we going in the religion of...
This is why I wouldn't have put a baboon up there. I would have put the swamp, because we're going back to the swamp. We came out of nothing and dirt and worms, and we're going back to nothing and dirt and worms.
I prefer that formulation, and I hope I remember to credit you next time I say it. You're right, yes. We came from the swamp, and we're clearly going back to the swamp.
Right.
And how does secular fundamentalism characterize it? Well, they characterize it as hopelessness, gloom, doom. We look forward to an eternal existence of light and joy. They say, it's terrible. It used to be nuclear winter years ago. That's what's coming up ahead. Well, let's see. There was going to be a meteorite that was going to strike us, and they even made a religious movie about that called Armageddon, where Saint Bruce saved the world. But whatever happens, the end is hopeless doom and oblivion, destruction, acid rain. That's another one we're waiting for. But right now, it's global warming.
They announced today, believe it or not, that the global warming may be over and we're back onto global cooling. So,
but
it's going to an ice age.
And that's why the words have subtly changed. By the way, again, watch not the photograph, watch the video. Used to be global warming. It's now climate change.
Right.
And again, nobody should have to believe us or take what we're saying on faith tonight. They should just be able to look themselves. Here is a marvelous picture of the climate change movement, and I have shown here together with you that we move from, where do we come from, that primitivism, by a process of unaided materialistic evolution, we turn from baboons into human beings, and now we're dealing with hopelessness and climate change. How about a twofer? Let's get them both in one picture, where we have evolution and climate change.
Jeez. Before it changes you. Wow. He's kind of an ugly dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So
where are we going? I would say that if I'm going to be kind to the fundamentalists, that we're just going to nothing. But really, you are saying disaster, because it always is some sort of a disaster.
It's always negative, and it's always the mirror image of Judeo-Christian biblical faith. We're going to a bright, optimistic, hopeful reunification with God. They're going to a hopeless disaster.
Okay.
Okay, what do we do in between? Over here...
Our best service, help each other.
Service, help each other.
Right.
Bring to life God's blueprint.
Try to be better tomorrow than we are today.
Great. Okay, that's all there. What do you do over here?
Whatever feels good.
Whatever feels good, and also because, after all, it is a religion, it must have sacraments. It must have sacred sacraments. What you do here is recycle. What you do here is do anything it takes to stop global warming or climate change. What you do here is reuse your towels in the hotel room to save the planet. Whatever it takes. By the way, human beings need to sacrifice. In the old days, they'd bring a sacrifice of some fruit and veggies to the Baal idol.
Right.
Today, we drive silly little vehicles that run out of battery in 20 miles. All of this is part of saving the planet. sacrifice. You've got to show you're a good person by sacrificing. And here's the beautiful thing. Basically, what they do in between arriving and departing is everything they can to stave off the disasters in answer number 2. Now, for things that are too big for me to do myself, I need my government. And what about things that are too big for even my government to do? How about we get a whole lot of governments to work together? Let's call it, how about the United Nations? And that's why secular fundamentalists, folks who are deeply religious on this faith, have this childlike belief in the United Nations.
Back in just a second.